In the quiet serenity of a mountainous village, the snow fell like a cascading blanket, covering the earth in a silvery sheen. The villagers, accustomed to the harsh winters, had retreated to their warm homes, their lives following the rhythm of nature. Among them lived an elderly farmer named Karim, a man whose wrinkled hands told stories of years spent tilling the land and tending to his livestock. For Karim, his animals were more than just a livelihood. They were his companions, his family. Karim's favorite among his animals was a goat named Pari. Pari wasn't an ordinary goat. Her sleek white fur and expressive eyes reflected an intelligence and bond that had grown over the years between her and Karim. He would often talk to her as if she understood his words, and in her own way, Pari seemed to respond, nudging him or bleating softly as though she were answering back. One morning, as the first rays of sunlight pierced through the dense gray clouds, Karim decided to venture out to check on his animals in the barn. The snowstorm had subsided, leaving behind thick layers of snow that reached up to his knees. Undeterred by the freezing temperatures, Karim wrapped himself in a heavy woolen coat and trudged through the icy whiteness, his breath forming small clouds in the frosty air. Pari watched him from her enclosure, her curious eyes following his every move. As he approached the barn, the snow beneath Karim's feet shifted slightly, unnoticed. The ground, unstable from the relentless snowstorm, gave way in a sudden and terrifying collapse. Karim let out a startled cry as he disappeared into a hidden crevice, the snow swallowing him whole. The icy coldness engulfed him, stealing his breath and leaving him immobilized. As we delve deeper into this emotional tale, take a moment to subscribe to our channel for more stories that touch your heart and soul. Your support helps us bring such narratives to life and share them with the world. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join us for more inspiring content. Back in the barn, Pari's ears perked up. Something was wrong. The familiar sound of Karim's footsteps had abruptly ceased, replaced by an eerie silence. Pari bleated loudly, pacing back and forth in agitation. The other animals stirred, sensing the unease radiating from their companion. Pari's sharp instincts told her that Karim needed help. Driven by an unexplainable urgency, Pari pushed against the latch of her enclosure. It was an old wooden gate, and years of use had weakened it. With a determined thrust, she managed to break free. Her hooves sank into the snow as she sniffed the air, searching for any sign of her beloved master. Pari's acute senses picked up faint traces of Karim's scent, and she began to follow the trail, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. Karim, buried under the snow, struggled to stay conscious. The cold was seeping into his bones, and every breath felt like shards of ice piercing his lungs. He tried to call out, but his voice was weak, muffled by the thick layers of snow above him. Desperation gripped him as he realized the gravity of his situation. He was alone, trapped and running out of time. Meanwhile, Pari's journey through the snow was anything but easy. The drifts were deep, and the cold was biting, but she pressed on, her loyalty to Karim driving her forward. Her bleats echoed through the stillness, as if calling out to him, letting him know that help was on the way. Pari's cries caught the attention of a neighboring farmer, who stepped out of his house to see what was causing the commotion. The farmer, a stout man named Yusuf, watched in amazement as Pari ran past him, her urgency unmistakable. Intrigued and concerned, Yusuf decided to follow her, grabbing a sturdy shovel on his way. Pari led him to the spot where the ground had given way, her incessant bleating guiding him to the exact location. She pawed at the snow, her actions desperate and frantic. Yusuf quickly realized what had happened. He began digging with all his might, his hands and the shovel working in unison to remove the heavy snow. Pari stayed by his side, her eyes fixed on the spot where Karim was buried. It was as if she could feel his presence, her connection to him transcending the barriers of nature. Underneath the snow, Karim's strength was fading. The darkness was closing in, and he felt himself slipping away. But just as his hope began to wane, he heard it, the faint sound of shoveling and Pari's determined bleats. A flicker of hope ignited within him, giving him the will to hang on a little longer. As the minutes stretched into what felt like hours, Yusuf's efforts finally bore fruit. He uncovered Kareem's hand, then his face, and with a final heave, pulled the old farmer out of his icy prison. Kareem gasped for air, his body trembling from the cold but alive. Pari rushed to his side, nuzzling him gently, her bleats filled with relief and affection. Through chattering teeth, Kareem managed a weak smile. "You saved me," he whispered, his voice barely audible. Pari seemed to understand, her eyes shining with a mixture of joy and concern. Yusuf helped Kareem to his feet and supported him as they made their way back to the warmth of the house. Pari followed closely, never letting him out of her sight. The villagers soon heard about Pari's incredible act of bravery, and she became a local hero. Kareem's bond with her grew even stronger, their connection now a testament to the unbreakable bond between humans and animals. Pari's loyalty and intelligence had not only saved Kareem's life, but also reminded everyone of the profound love and trust that can exist between living beings. If you're moved by this story and want to hear more tales of courage, love, and resilience, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue sharing these heartwarming stories. Together, let's celebrate the extraordinary connections that make life so beautiful. Kareem recovered fully from his ordeal, but he never forgot the lesson he learned that fateful day. Pari, the goat who had once been just another animal in his barn, had become his guardian angel. And as the winters came and went, their story became a legend in the village, a reminder of the extraordinary power of love and loyalty.